Bloomberg Audio Studios. Podcasts, radio, news.
The Stock Movers Podcast, your roundup of companies making moves in the stock market, harnessing the power of Bloomberg data.
Let's take a look at some stocks on the move today. In Europe, we're joined by Bloomberg's equities reporter, Joe Easton. Joe, on a day of a major market sell-off, of course, all related to the tariff announcements last week. Let's look at the losses, first of all, that we're seeing in the defence sector in Europe.
Yeah, so the defence move today is pretty remarkable, seeing double-digit losses across all the big names. Rheinmetall, Leonardo, BAE Systems, Hensoldt, all of the big suppliers, even Airbus, Rolls-Royce as well, getting slammed at the open of trading. They have come up a little bit. Rheinmetall, for example, was down 27% at the open of trading today. It's now down 8%, so recovered a bit. Now, this is, of course, after a big rally for the sector, so people using the sell-off as a time to take some profit on these stocks, possibly also covering some of their margin calls. And also, out of the US, we had this report out from Reuters saying that a company called Howmet Industries has declared a force majeure, meaning that they won't be legally contracted to meet their orders if they are hit by any of the global tariffs that are going on. That's a company that supplies Airbus, Safran, and a number of other companies. Now, traders in my chat today saying that this was a shock for the market and really indicates that potentially the defence issue from tariffs could be huge.
Meanwhile, Joe, some movement for weight loss drugs as well after Donald Trump apparently not going to be allowing Medicare to pay for them. Explain to us what this means for some of the major producers.
Yeah, so we're seeing weakness in Novo Nordisk. This is down around 6% at the moment. Now, the Trump administration deciding against allowing Medicare to pay for obesity drugs. Now, that would have provided these weight loss drugs for millions of people in the country, so therefore it's essentially a hit to demand for these stocks. We saw Eli Lilly dropping over in the US late Friday, the maker of Mounjaro, whereas now we're seeing Novo coming down. But again, given the broader slump that we're seeing across European stocks, it's probably kind of a broad move, but also adding to the pressure on Novo. So Novo down 5% in Copenhagen today.
Joe, you're also watching Shell this morning. The firm just won and Benny in the sector, dealing with the slump in oil prices.
Yeah, so oil not doing well, and of course in terms of the tariff impact, and therefore a broad move lower in those asset classes. So Shell guiding for weaker than expected gas production alongside weaker than expected oil equivalents, and that really hitting the stock today. It's down 7% at the moment, one of the biggest weights on the FTSE 100. Shell reckons it'll produce around 950,000 barrels of oil equivalent in the latest period. That was below the quarterly estimates. That was a quarterly estimate, and it is actually well below targets. So Shell down 7% today, but really kind of a move lower with the broader market, with oil prices declining around 3% overnight as well.
Joe, how would you describe the mood in the trader chats that you're in right now?
I would say it is close to panic, but I think that there's still bigger days in memory. If we think back to the COVID pandemic, for example, we were seeing the indexes down 10% on consecutive days, and that was real panic. Everyone's selling everything possible. At the moment, it's getting close to that, but I think that the COVID pandemic for me still stands out as something that was much bigger.
The Stock Movers Podcast from Bloomberg Radio. Check back with us throughout the day for the latest roundup of companies making news on Wall Street. And for the latest market-moving headlines, listen to Bloomberg Radio live. Catch us on YouTube, Bloomberg.com, and on Apple CarPlay and Android Auto with the Bloomberg Business app.